Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to today's video where we are going to be reviewing and doing some looks with the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. So this is part of my series where I have been doing 7 days, 7 palettes, 21 looks. It's not a catchy title, it never did catch on, I still don't know, I still trip over saying it. But it's where I was reviewing 7 palettes, and 6 of them were actually brand new to me. They weren't necessarily new products, but new in my collection. So I wanted to get some use out of them and use them. So for day number 7, I did put up a little kind of question on Instagram and in the comments on Friday's video to see which ones you guys wanted to see, and the vote was overwhelmingly for the Moonspell palette. So full disclosure here, I've had this all, since October, so I do know my opinions about this palette quite a lot. It's not a first impression, it is definitely, what I think. It's my review of it, really. And it almost doesn't matter how good the quality is, because this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life in the makeup world. I'm sorry, it is my aesthetic to like 1,000,000%, okay? So regardless, I love everything about this, okay? We will talk about some of the formulas and some of the different things with it, so don't worry. I will be actually giving you a review, but I'm not gonna hesitate to say that I'm probably a little bit biased because it's beautiful. Anyway, so with that long-winded intro, let's get into it and start with the swatches. So let's go ahead and open the box. Okay, so it comes with this outer packaging, glacé, very pretty, and it has like a little book binding. And you pull it out. Should I turn down the ring light a little bit? Let's turn it down a little bit. Okay, a bit better. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so here it is. So it's all beautifully embossed with all of this gold foil all over it. It does kind of feel very nice. It has like a raised texture to it wherever the stuff is. And like the little lock area here definitely has this raised feeling. It has like the gold, like pretend lettering or pretend book edges that you would have on like kind of fancy books. It has a little skull here, little name on the binding and everything. So it's very beautiful. I do still have the plastic in here, so let me take it out before I open it up for you guys. Okay, and so let's go ahead and show you what she looks like. So it is just an absolutely stunning color story and palette. We have purples, we have neutrals, we have greens, we have these deep kind of bluey turquoise colors. It has a little bit of everything in this palette, and it's really quite versatile. So when we get into the looks, you'll see that I did kind of more of a neutral basic look. I did a green grungy look, and then I did this to me, very glamorous looking dark, sultry purple look. So there are 5. There are 15 shades in this palette, so we will go ahead and start the swatching. We'll probably end up with the full arm here. I will roll up my sleeves as I chat. So I am a fan of Lunar Beauty as a brand. I think it's, however way that you may feel about Manny, I think his brand is really top quality, really exceptional in many ways. I had the Life's a Drag palette, which I used the heck out of, but then I stopped really using it, so I gave it away to a student so they could get a bit more use out of it than I had. There's nothing wrong with it, I just had a lot of dupes of the same things, and so it kind of made sense to give it to a new home. I have obviously this one, and I have the Strawberry Dreams palette. I also have one of the highlights, and I have both lip glosses and 2 of the liquid lipsticks. So I do have quite a lot of the collection. And I know he's been sneaking something on his Instagram recently. There might be something coming out for this, later this year. Very excited, and also looking forward to a restock of the, at least a restock on Beauty Bay of the highlighters, the Moon Prism Powder highlighters. Sorry, it's another Sailor Moon reference, so just for that reason it endears me to him even more. All right, so we'll go scoot this way and we'll go ahead and start the swatching. So, I should tell you how much this retails for, shouldn't I? Okay, so it does retail in the US for $48, and it looks like on Beauty Bay it probably would have been about £48. It's not available right now in the UK, at least from Beauty Bay. And yeah, the highlighter I want to get is the Venus one, and the Mercury one probably. Anyway, it's beside the point. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the swatching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way, okay, across. I feel like I'm a bit scattered in this review. I'm really sorry if I am. It's the second one that I'm filming today, and I'm probably just a little bit tired, and the whole world is a bit weird right now. I've never felt so anxious going to the grocery store in my life, and I just feel like it's taking a lot out of me, and that's, I don't really know what to say. Anyway, sorry if I'm a little bit scattered. So it was $48 US. You get 15 shades, so it is on the more expensive side, but they are really good quality eyeshadows. Okay, so what you're going to see is there's a mixture of kind of different kind of shimmery formulas and then some mattes in here. So we're going to start with the purple row, then kind of this neutral row, and then into the green row down here. So all of the colors in here are named after famous TV witches, okay, which I think is really cute. So the first four, I think, are all from Charmed. So the first one is Prue, then, and this is like a very, very metallic-y, iridescent purple kind of shade. The second one is Piper, which is just a normal kind of metallic burgundy. Well, it's not quite a burgundy. It's just a deep pink. The third one is Phoebe, which is a duochrome pink to blue. Okay, so we're going to start way up here on the hand. Let's see if we can get these in the right spot. Okay, so there's Prue. Okay, that's Piper. And then there is Phoebe. Sorry, this one went a little bit weird there. Let me just fix that. The shimmers are really smooth. I have to say that the shimmer formula in these is I just used the wrong color on top of that, is really lovely. Just a little bit more so you guys can see how intense you could build that up. But they're really, really pretty. Let's do more of that because I want to be covered in glitter. Glitter everywhere. Okay, so those are the first three. So that was Prue, Piper, and Phoebe. Then we have two matte shades, which is Paige, which is essentially kind of the same tone as this, but in a matte. Just like a nice kind of deep magenta. And then we have, I'm still covered in things. Come on, towel, do your job. And then we have Sabrina, obviously, for Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Guys, I was rewatching some of those episodes, and I forgot how cringy, like, the last season was when she's, like, gonna get married. Sorry. I can't say it's spoilers. This is like 20 years ago, guys, okay? But when she's, the last season when she's kind of gonna get married and things like that. And I rewatched the last episode, which I remember being, like, so influential. I don't know, influential is not the right word, but like I was really into it at the time when it came out, and I rewatched it and I started yelling at the TV screen because the reason I loved it is, sorry, if you don't want to hear what happens in the very last episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, go ahead and click off now and come back in about a minute. Okay? Anyway, so when she leaves that fiance guy at the altar and then she meets Harvey outside and their stones like come together, in the background it's playing No Doubt Running, right? But not here in the UK. On the reruns, they're playing some random other song, and I'm like, what is this? What am I listening to? It was not impactful at all. I was very cross about it. Anyway, that's my tangent. That's my Sabrina the Teenage Witch tangent for you. Okay. Anyway, there's our first 5 colors. Really beautiful, okay? So, my hands are stained a little bit, okay? I think this is a pigment palette. It's a color palette, which means it has pigments in it, okay? All right, so, oops. Okay, second row, Winifred and Sarah. So now we're into the Hocus Pocus witches. Winifred is a nice kind of warm brown, slightly on the poop color side. And then we have Sarah, which is another brown, but it's almost like a pink mauve brown. I love this color. Sarah is probably my favorite matte. Except for maybe Marnie. Okay, sorry, there's Sarah. Oops, I watched in the wrong order, sorry. And there's Winifred. Sorry, they're in the wrong order. And then I messed up that swatch real bad. Okay, and then the next one, the last of the 3 sisters from Hocus Pocus, is Mary, which is kind of like a deep antique goldy green color. It's really pretty, sorry. It's very grungy, and I really like that. And then the next 2, we have Samantha, after Samantha from Bewitched, which is a nice kind of bronze shimmer. And then we have a dark brown, which is Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service. Okay. That one didn't swatch very nice. Shall we do another round over that? Probably should clean my fingers. There we go. Okay, that's so far. So that's the first and the second row. So the last row, the first color is Hermione, which is just this kind of nice, kind of medium toned gold. It's very glittery, this one. It's more light and glittery than it looks, and it's a little bit drier than the other shimmers in the palette. Okay, so that's Hermione. And then the last four, sorry, itchy, the colors are named from The Witches from the Craft, which again was a staple movie when I was younger. So we have Bonnie, which kind of looks like an electric green, but it is actually a little bit more swampy on the eye. Then we have Marnie, which is like a deep mossy green. And then we have Nancy, which is a teal green. Okay, so let's go get them down here. Oh, I love this color. Look at that one. And then this one here. Yes, and then this one here. Okay, let's do another round for this one. And for this one. Look how gorgeous those are. So pretty. And then the last shade is Fiona, which is a shimmery deep teal. I think it has like a black base to it. It's very dark. Okay, so let me back up so you can see the entire color story here. It's almost kind of rainbowy when you look at it this way. We have some kind of more orangey tones, we have some yellowy green tones, kind of more bluey greens, and then purples and kind of purpley reds up here. But it's a beautiful color story. It's all of the shades look really nice. Let's go through them really fast here. Okay. So those are the swatches. So now let's have a look at me trying out a couple of different variations using this palette. So what I wanted to do was do one that I thought was maybe the most kind of, I don't want to say neutral and wearable, but kind of the most basic, like just browns and then like a shimmery shimmery thing on the lid. Then I went into the greens because of course those are my favorites right now. Greens and yellows are where I'm leaning towards. For the second look, so something a little bit more kind of Swamp Witch-esque. And then for this last look, I wanted it to be all about the purples, really intense, deep, vampy, purpley kind of colors. So I'm going to just scooch over. And let me just check my notes so I get it right this time. All right. And I don't know why I put the palette away. That was a bit stupid. Okay. All right, so remember over here with the ugly chair, and there's Stella. Stella? Oh, she's cleaning her paw. And cleaning her face. Stella. She's so lazy. She's just laying there, licking her hand and gently cleaning. Okay, so the first look, I wanted to do, as I said, something kind of more on the neutral side. So I first started with Sarah. Like I said, this is probably one of my very favorite colors out of this palette because it's really different looking. There's another color in the Strawberry Dreams palette, which is like, I think would be perfect with this one as well, which is like Storm, I think it is, which is like this deep gray purple. Anyway, it looks more like a brown in the pan, but it definitely has more of a pink, gray, purpley kind of undertone. It's a cool color. I don't even know how to really express it. It's really cool. So I did that kind of all over the lid, mostly into the crease, and kind of then faded it out up towards the eyebrow just to give it a little bit of less intensity, just a light wash of this beautiful color. Then I went in to start to deepen it up, and I went into Kiki, which is kind of the most neutral brown shade in this palette, to really build up the outer corner, give us a little bit of intensity there, and just to make it a little bit more of a rounded out kind of look. Hi! It's not dinner time yet, buddy. It's not. I know you're going for the plastic. I might have to pause for a second and grab the cat and toss him off the pile of plastic. Have I talked about this? How my cats love plastic? They're obsessed with it. I don't know what's wrong with them. All right, so we had Sarah all over, and we deepened it up with Kiki, and then I'm like, okay, sorry, Betty's right here. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in with Hermione. I'll do kind of a gold color. But when I put it on, it looked like way too yellow, and I didn't like that combination together. Nothing wrong with the formulas, nothing wrong with the shadows. I just didn't like it. So I switched it up, and then I just put Samantha all over the top of that to cover it up, and that was beautiful. It's a really pretty bronzy, pink, purpley kind of color. Absolutely love it. So the first look I thought was more wearable, kind of more on the neutral side, very pretty, great look, okay? Then, for the second one, like I said, Swamp Witch Couture, I started with Bonnie. I really love this color. It's so beautiful, so pigmented, and it goes on exactly like you want it to, absolutely beautifully. So I took Bonnie, essentially I did the same on either side, the same look, but just with a different color story. So Bonnie all over, then kind of blended it out so it wasn't too super intense. Then I went in with Marnie, again, outer corner, deepening it up, making it more green, more grungy, more swampy. Marnie looks really beautiful. It's not as dark as it might look, so you can build it a little bit more or do like a light wash with it instead if you wanted to. And then I decided to go in with Mary as the topper color, and this one is that grungy green gold kind of color, and so I love the way this looks. It's definitely Swamp Witch. It's something I will definitely go towards. Again, I really like that kind of grungy aesthetic right now. Maybe it's this 90s revival that seems to be happening at the moment, but I don't know. I like it. All right, for the final look, which is what I am wearing on my eyeballs right now, it's very pretty. I did struggle a tiny little bit with this one, okay? So I'm going to be completely frank with you guys on these colors. So the first one I went into was Paige. Paige is a beautiful color. It blends out really well. It gives me a nice kind of pale pinky purple base to build everything else on. So I took that and I started again in the crease towards the top a little bit and blended it out. Then I went in with Sabrina, and Sabrina is, I don't want to say it's like the troublemaker of this palette, but it is one of the slightly more difficult shades to work with. It does kind of come across slightly patchy in areas, but if you're just patient and you build, it will eventually turn into something really beautiful. So the final look that I managed to get with that Sabrina color, sorry, let me just come here. You can see it's a pretty seamless purpley blend. It was a bit tricky and a little bit patchy in some areas, but it's just about punching it in, really packing it onto the lid and like blending it gently on the edges. So I used Paige, then I used Sabrina. Then I went in with Phoebe on the middle towards the center of kind of from not quite the inner corner, about 3/4 to the center of the lid, to start doing that little bit of that duochrome purpley shift. And then I took Prue over on top of that, but starting in the mid or at the actual end of the eye here, and then bringing it kind of all over. So you get this purple, blue, pink duochrome kind of effect all across the lid, and these two together look so nice. Really beautiful. Very happy with the way it turned out. So let me just here we can go. I'll come a little closer. So no, I didn't have any problems really. I thought it turned out beautiful. The only issue I had was, sorry, I gotta really stop sitting on this foot, was with Sabrina being a little bit patchy in some areas, but I managed to fix it, so no harm, no foul. It was okay. All right, so those are the 3 looks. I don't know which one is my favorite, maybe the green one, but I love this one that I'm wearing right now. Is so beautiful. Sorry, I'm just admiring myself in the viewfinder. So, thoughts about this palette overall. I've already said at the beginning that I love it. Okay, great. I love it because there's a lot of diversity in the looks that you can get with this. It's a really interesting color story. It has a lot of deep colors in it, which is the type of thing that I prefer. We have some fun greens, some fun purples, and some interesting colors that I don't really see elsewhere all that much. So from that perspective, I really like it. Two of the colors, I think Sabrina and Nancy are kind of the most fiddly. What just happened, guys? So I think Sabrina and Nancy are kind of the more fiddly matte, so you just have to really be gentle with them and work with them a little bit more. But all of the others work great, and all of the shimmers work really good too. So from that perspective, quality-wise, is very, very good. I think it is probably a bit on the high price side, but for something like this, you are also paying for the aesthetic of the packaging. So could you get these for a cheaper price from another brand? Yes. Could you get this packaging? No. And I think that's part of the allure of some of these palettes is actually the way that they look, not just the way they perform. They have to do both. Okay, I'm not going to buy or suggest anything that won't perform well, even if it looks great. Okay, if this palette was absolute garbage, I would have said so, and I wouldn't have even suggested reviewing it. Okay, because I had it already in my collection. I bought it on launch day. So I think you have to have a good balance between those two. So good quality and then also a fun aesthetic, because we gravitate towards packaging, and to say that you don't, you're only looking for the quality of the shadows, I'm sorry. If it's in a cute box or a cute little, container or something like that, we're all over it. So I think the aesthetic is part of what you're paying for here. That's just my 2 cents. But I think there's something really special about this palette, and I think it is this just absolute attention to detail aesthetic that is going to make it something that I'm never going to want to declutter, even if it expires, because it is so stunning. Yeah, I kind of wish I bought a backup so I could use one and then keep one, but then I really got to get out of that stupid collector mentality. I've never had it before. But now I'm kind of like, oh, I don't want to waste things. But then that's how I get expired food in the house, because I'm like, oh, I'll save it for a special day, and then it expires. Okay. All right, guys, so that's it for today's video, and also the final video of Palette Week. It has been an adventure. I think of all the new palettes that I looked at, my favorite is still going to be the Lime Crime Prelude Chroma. My least favorite is still the Viseart Paris Edit. And I mean, if this one, the Lunar Beauty one, had been new, it would have been at the top of my list. But it was something I already had in my collection, so it's not new to me. I really enjoyed this week. I think I've learned more about filming and learned a little bit more about how to do my eyes, and very, very fast. I've also learned that I don't like this eye primer. It makes my eyes burn, so I'm going to stop using it. But I wanted to use the same primer every day this week so that the eyeshadows were there was no variations in what I was doing. So I used the same brushes, the same primer, the same kind of everything. But yeah, I think this kind of has started making my eyes burn. I'm going to do a video about eye primers, coming up pretty soon. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end it there. Otherwise, I'm just going to ramble. I'm in a rambling kind of mood, and I don't think you need that in your life necessarily. We will be back tomorrow with another video, normal video, not a palette week based video. And yeah, of course, if you have ideas for other things you'd like me to review in the future, please do leave them down below in the comments section. If you have this palette and you like it as well, let me know. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. Am I crazy? Is it really terrible and I'm just liking it because I'm dazed by the packaging? Tell me. If you enjoyed this, you could hit the like button down below. You could always subscribe if you're not already. It's cool. It's free. Come hang out with me. My cats are down there. Sometimes they appear in videos, especially Betty. That's Stella. Stella, what are you doing? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you did make it all the way through Palette Week, all 7 videos, thumbs up for you. You're amazing. I barely made it through. Anyway, all right, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other right now, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.